But some days it's worse than others. Or is it just my head? Drives me nuts. Ticket job, whatever.
Did you change anything on the front page?
Already losing it. I don't want to go.
Okay. Good. All right. At 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Is anybody here for public forum? Hearing none, we'll call for a motion on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
I had a couple questions on the consent agenda. Under the bills, there was a $28,000 electric charge for Dollar General. I understand I asked that's for a transformer. Is that transformer used only by Dollar General, or is that a general use for the community?
Only Dollar General.
Brian said it is for just Dollar General.
Okay, and is that, so why did they need one but the greenhouse didn't? Is it just their usage?
Yes.
Their service size, Brian said.
Service size? Okay. And is that something that we offer to anyone who's willing to build, either a business or individual?
I would assume. Yep. Yep.
Okay. And then, my other question was regarding the, budget for, where we are in different departments. The police department, we renewed that one this year. Did that one go up? And is that why we're over by 32,000 for the police budget?
I will have to do some checking on that and get back to you on that one.
Okay.
Seems
Just kidding. Thank you.
Oh, there might have been a quarter payment.
Yeah, I have a question also, maybe directed to Brian, with the Dollar General, that transformer. I mean, that's the 28,000 is the service, and because they needed another transformer there.
Well, yeah, they had to run service to the building,
Mm-hmm.
so the transformer by the building, the service Dollar General, Dollar General from their building and.
We might have to look at, what the profit is on the electricity generated there and come up. I'm not quite sure what we charge on the front end for any service to the company. But if the costs for new service are going to be that high, we're going to need to recoup that over a period of time. So either in the base rate or the commercial rate.
That's why you set your rates that way,
Yeah. But it's going to take a while for that. Their monthly usage costs to pay off that service.
All right. Anyone else have anything for the consent agenda?
But I had it on before and it went dead, so.
I did.
All right, hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
yeah.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. New business, Dave Keeney regarding the assessment role.
can you hold the bottom of your microphone button?
Hold it for
Push it
like,
in and hold it.
yeah,
That's- oh, let him talk.
no, it'll turn on
Ah,
after you
okay,
hold it.
good.
Now it's on.
Is it?
This one's not working.
Just switch with me.
Keeps going off.
There you go.
I'm assuming you have my letter that I sent.
Mhm.
This minute, okay. And what I'm requesting is a reduction in our assessment based upon, it was set as a 66-foot assessment. We're dealing with a 40-foot street. Even the minimum is only 60 feet. So I'm not sure where the 66 feet would have come in for a street that we're 185 feet away from. And I understand the access question. That's not my question of why am I paying for access. I'm questioning the dimensions that the city is using for minimums. I did a little looking and the subdivisions in the city of Harmony are 50-foot lots mostly. There's very few that are larger than 50 till you get into the newer subdivisions. The old subdivisions are pretty much 50-foot lots. So that 60 feet, to me, runs into a headache as you redo streets in older parts of town. And that's something that maybe needs to be addressed. One of my questions was when Alyssa was looking at this stuff, your policy was last reviewed in 2014. It's probably time to look at that again, just as an adjustment.
Mhm.
But my request is simply to reduce that assessment to the 40-foot street is the platted street. The city has no control over anything more than 40 feet of width that I access. And I understand that you have a 60-foot minimum, and so the decision is yours as to how you're going to approach this.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make a motion to adjust that assessment to the 60-foot minimum.
Second. for
I'll
this.
second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? Do you have any comments regarding that?
No.
Okay.
I do have another comment. In your website, I had to come and have Alyssa show me how to find the assessment protocols. You might want to move them. They're in Public Works, at the very bottom of the list, underneath the application for appliance rebates. I think I'd move that to a little more prominent place within the website. So, but I do think it's time to review that. As you look at things, 60 feet, 150 feet, lot sizes, all that, and just review it. Maybe you don't make any changes, but 10 years is a long time to let something sit
Okay.
without a review. So other than that, no, I have nothing else.
Okay,
Thank you.
any other?
Question related to discussion is can we adjust that at this? I thought that was supposed to be done.
He appealed.
The appeal deadline was last meeting. So that gives a person 30 days, I believe, if I remember right, to formally pursue it if they want to. So I think the door would still be open for any sort of resolution short of them going to court to carry forward with that. I believe is what Brett would say. And I mean, it's too late to add that to other people.
Right.
So at this point, any decrease to somebody's is just the city then picking up the cost, whatever the difference is.
Yes, we're not changing anything else, just the assessment to the Keeney property from 66 feet down to 60-foot minimum. All right, hearing no further discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we have Resolution 2416 to accept the street and utility assessment rule.
I would make a motion to approve or adopt resolution 24-16.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And we have the Harmony Fire Relief Association.
Hello, I'm James Scollin. I'm the treasurer with the Harmony Fire Relief Association. I'm here today to request that we raise our yearly retirement amount. Right now, it's currently at $1,150. I'm requesting that we make a jump up to $1,300. It has been 3 years since we have came to the council for a bump. And if you look around the area, we're pretty low still. So just requesting a little bump in that.
All right. Any counselors have any questions or comment? And we understand this city contributes 9,500 each year to the fund, and this wouldn't increase
Correct.
the amount of the city contribution.
Correct.
All right. Hearing no further discussion, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
do you need a motion?
Can we make a motion?
Nobody motion.
Get a
Oh, I'm making the, oh, I'm sorry. I'll make the motion. So we have a motion and a second. Now, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstaining?
Aye.
Show 2 abstained firefighters. Opposed? None. So motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thanks, James.
Truth and taxation hearing. We'll open that hearing now. Any public input?
Steve, did we approve the transfer to at the same time?
We have to do that next.
Oh, yes, I'm
Transfer
sorry.
funds.
Good point. We'll leave the truth and taxation hearing open. I'd entertain a motion to approve the internal transfer of the 2023 state aid of $22,302 that the city received earlier in the year, along with the city $9,500 contribution.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Will that include what we get later on for 2024? That'll be coming in probably early, like around February, March.
Yes, I would amend my motion to have that pass through also.
Second that.
And part of that, the 22,302 state aid is 2,000 of that is a supplemental reimbursement from the state of Minnesota. Hearing no further discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now, any public input on the truth and taxation hearing? Hearing none, we'll close the public input and call for a motion on the resolution 2417.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 24-17.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And we'll close the truth and taxation hearing. Next is resolution 2418 for designated polling place 2025.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 24-18.
I'll second that too.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, we have an accounting service proposals. None
Yeah.
came in today?
No, unfortunately, so we only received the one from Smith Schaefer. Hacker Nelson did get back to us, they were very interested, but they did some checking. We in the past have done a gap auditing, which is the difference between like accrual versus cash. And I did do some checking on that, and we have in the past always done, or for quite some time now, done gap. So Hacker Nelson unfortunately does not have enough time to get it done by the deadline if we were to go through them with the gap. So unfortunately, they had to abstain from giving us a proposal. So we only have one. I did reach out to a handful of people. I did put on, on the League of Minnesota, we added our request for proposals. Unfortunately, we've just only gotten the one. The cost is in there of what they are proposing. It is not pretty. It's very expensive.
Well, I would note that so far this year, we've paid Abdu $51,862. So it's a lot from the previous year was closer to 25,000.
Some of that was the training, right?
It was.
Yes.
Probably about half of it, I would guess.
Yeah, a big chunk of that was training.
All right.
Can we postpone the decision to have an auditor, or do we kind of need to go with the bids we got?
Well, we gotta have an auditor to do our audit for this year. I guess my thing would be, can we do a 1-year contract? I don't know what they would do, and then revisit it and send it out for bids. Or if we just go with the 3-year.
Do we have a deadline for getting a contract with the auditor? Or with the
Our audit
accounting
has
service?
to be submitted by the end of June. So, and after talking to, Jerome has been great to help out when I've had some questions regarding that. And he had said that when you do I probably worded it wrong, but when you do the gap auditing, he said that you don't really want to start any later than like the 10th of February. Otherwise, it doesn't give you enough time, is what he had said.
With that, so if we postponed it a month, it did sound like, Alyssa, when you were talking to the other service agent, that they would get back to us within a month. If we have that time, I'd be interested in seeing their bid.
Which one? Hacker Nelson?
Hacker Nelson, yeah.
They,
We have to change our whole process.
yeah, they don't have enough time to get it done in time, like to actually finish it by the end of June. Because they wouldn't even be able to get started with it until after tax season, so after April 15th, then that's when they'd be able to start it. So they don't feel like they're gonna have enough time to actually get it finished before the end of June.
Sure. And we get to choose our contract length with Smith Schaefer, is that also correct?
They submitted a 3-year contract. I would be happy to check with them to see if that can be changed.
In our proposal, we asked for 1 to 3 year
We did.
proposal.
Yep.
So we could offer back just a 1-year proposal at the price stated.
Yeah, I'd be in favor.
The risk could be that the next one would go up more than the project or the
Yeah.
amount in the proposal. But that's pretty high. So I don't think that's a great risk. We could find potentially a lower bid next year.
What's the bid at?
What was that?
What's their bid at? Smith's?
Oh, so for 2024, they're at 45,000. 2025 is 47,500, and then for 2026, it's going to be 50,000. I'm sorry, I was not able to add that to the agenda. They have privacy restrictions, and I
got it.
wasn't able to add the whole.
Well, make a motion to accept the first year of their 3-year proposal.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? We could add in there that we may be interested in 3-year if they're not willing to do it for just 1 year.
Okay.
Does that sound all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Utility rates.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 24-19.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the resolution 2419 utility rate? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Building and maintenance. Do we have anything on wastewater?
As far as, well, we have a 90% review of the UV plan coming up in January. No,
It was like,
the 12th. isn't
yeah, I was
it?
gonna say it's soon.
Thursday,
Yes.
yes, Thursday the 12th. That would be the only, I think Dupron is here looking at stuff, trying to make the bar screeners, compactor work.
They were here today. Tracy called and said that they did some training with Corey and Rick. That went well. And they looked at the piece of equipment and they have added some weights to it. And they're going to see how that goes for a couple days. And then, yeah, and they'll improvise if they have to. He took off and headed back. They were done.
I would say that's it.
Okay. EDA Board, recommendation for the downtown revitalization grant.
Do you want me to, or you want
Yeah, I can summarize if you want.
Yes, please.
We've this is probably the fourth year now, I think, fourth round of the downtown revitalization grant. So I think the city included money in the budget for that. So the EDA did a review. We received two very good applicants. And EDA, after vetting those, is recommending the council approve awarding it to Eddie Schwartzentruber for the building, most recently Tin Rust and Harmony, and before that owned by J Masters, for the purpose of tuck pointing. And the goal, it was made contingent upon Eddie doing the rest of the building. This past summer, he did the west side, the front side, and is eager to get the north, south, and east sides all done. And compiling the EDA money of $40,000 plus, there's still room with the small cities block grant. So it sounds like he's pursuing that, and then adding on private investment on top of that to round out the project. So that was a very appealing one to check off the list. So that's the recommendation from EDA.
I would make a motion to approve awarding Eddie Schwartzentruber that grant.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to award the downtown revitalization grant to Eddie Schwartzentruber for the $40,000. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Also follow up with the EDA regarding the recommendation from council last month for the chamber annual agreement. Was that submitted prior to the EDA meeting?
No, because I haven't had time to work on that.
Okay. I guess we felt like we were gonna get it done before the EDA, so the chamber had enough time to do it.
Correct. I know that you said that, and I know that I said that I would try to get it done. But time in life didn't allow that to happen.
Sure. Well, I'd be interested in just going with the original agreement since we haven't gotten a edited one, so I'll make a motion to approve last month's chamber annual agreement as proposed by the EDA and supported for chamber to approve, or the council to approve.
So as it was submitted last month, I'll second that motion. Any discussion?
You're adding an agenda item.
That was tabled.
It was tabled, but you're adding it back in. That's not on the agenda.
It's a regular meeting, so you guys, unlike a special meeting where you advertise a specific purpose, you can cover general business topics. So the agenda isn't a exact prescription, but
It should have been brought up before. At the beginning of the meeting. The only part that I would have some reservation with and that I was going to work on was not the original agreement surrounding the $30,000. It really related to the property maintenance agreement. So I don't have a problem approving that first part with that, and maybe we approve it all and I'll bring back some modifications and see how it goes to the property maintenance agreement.
Yeah, and my thoughts are, we could approve it. It's kind of a framework. I think this city is very willing to work with the chamber. I think the chamber's very willing to work with us, the Historical Society. The only thing I've seen in the past is a little bit about maybe the date something gets done. The chamber has put out like hours of operation, so it's good to have the doors open during the times that they're going to be in there functioning. And of course, the Historical Society wants access at different times too. And I don't think that's been a problem in the past. And I think it's, even with the agreement as submitted, I think that can be worked out. And if it gets to be a point of contention, we can address it again next year.
And I don't see that there's anything crazy within what's being asked from the city. They're pretty simple asks regarding when the floor is cleaned. That was something that we've been asked to include, largely just to know that there's 5 months for it to be done. And if it can't be done at that point, I don't quite see the problem with the city worker not being able to utilize their time to do that.
Okay, any other discussion? We'll
I
call-
would ask that the one thing in there be removed is painting every 5 years from the property maintenance agreement. As
Yeah,
needed.
that's not in my motion. You can bring it back later, I guess. It's not in my motion.
Basically, painting would get done when it needed to get done,
That's
not
what I would like to see.
demanded. Yeah, like just not making it every 5 years, I think is,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it needs to be done, absolutely,
As needed.
as
yeah, I
needed.
feel like it's pretty laid back. Yeah.
And again, and I don't think it's a demand. I think
No.
something could happen where they might request us to paint it in 3 years, and something may not happen, and they may not request it for 7 years, but
Well, as long as
I don't
we-
think it hurts to be in the agreement.
As long as we get the opportunity to say, no, we don't feel that it needs to be painted. That's my concern.
Well, it's not the agreement's not 5 years.
I realize
So
that, but
the- every year
I'm just
we have
saying then I don't see the problem with changing it to as needed or as agreed upon per the chamber and the city, instead of
Sure, I
having
think
a
that's-
specific date and time in it.
Okay,
That's what we're always going for is just clear communication between the chamber and the city. And that's what the chambers of ethics always offered to the city. So I think that'll continue moving forward and we don't really need to change anything. It's just,
Then why write it into a contract or a property maintenance agreement that way?
because we were asked and we looked at other agreements and it just seemed like a good thing to include.
Okay, I'm done.
all right. Hearing no further discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
All right,
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Anything else for E EDA? All right. Does Harmon Chamber have anything?
Yeah, last month we held our volunteer luncheon at the Bike. The chamber extends a heartfelt thank you to all of our awesome volunteers. Small Business Saturday took place the Saturday after Thanksgiving with all open retailers and restaurants reporting a fabulously busy sales day. Breakfast with Santa was Saturday. Attendance was up this year and we had so many wonderful comments in our new photo backdrop that was sponsored by the City of Harmony Arts Board. Thank you to all the organizations, businesses, and individuals who volunteered their time to help make this beloved event a success. Selvig Park tree lighting was held later that day, and we encourage you to take a stroll through the park and admire our community's creativity. Holiday ceremony is tomorrow. It's from 5 to 7:30. We have free horse and wagon rides to tour the holiday lights, a s'mores bar, and crafts with ECFE at the Visitor Center, and downtown businesses are staying open late with specials, pop-ups, and special visitors. Dress warm and fun and get your holiday shopping done while supporting your favorite local businesses.
So just in case people didn't hear that, that's tomorrow, 5 to 7:30,
Correct.
and it's rides.
Wait,
And where do they take place at?
Visitor Center.
At the visitor center. Okay. Park board.
We met last night. We approved the purchase of one bleacher for the Rucker court, that the Lions has graciously said that they would donate the funds for that. So that is ordered. We talked and are moving forward with, I guess I call it a pavilion, in memory of Bruce Biak at the splash pad. Is there anything else?
That's basically what we covered.
So,
Okay. Library board.
Library board met. We reappointed Jeff Weiss and Vicki Christensen to the library board. Jeff Weiss was filling in for a member who left early, filled out that term and has agreed to serve another term. So we're thankful for both Jeff Weiss and Vicki Christian for their service to the library board. And the arts board also met. We had a paint your pen event in the community center. It was fully booked with 20 attendants, and everyone had a great time. We also did the holiday light contest and judged and then announced at the chamber tree lighting event. And congratulations to the winners. The three winners for the tree lighting are Phil Burkholder and Cindy Ike, Matt and Heidi Brown, and Mingo and Mindy Kingsley. And there were many other honorable mentions, a lot of wonderful lights around town. So everyone's encouraged to walk around or drive around and check them all out.
Yeah, thank you. Fire department.
nothing.
I would say the fire department had their annual meeting last night where we invite back retired firefighters, including myself. We enjoyed chili and oyster stew. And sheriff's report. See that? Does anybody have anything else for our meeting? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we did about a half hour one meeting. The one I wasn't here?